Ed Skinner is proud of his legacy in eastern Polk County, and he has every right to be, because this area would look a whole lot different if it weren't for his hard work, vision, and love of this community. Next to his family, Ed Skinner considers law, politics, and development to be his passions. From early on, Ed had always wanted to be a lawyer. It began when he watched the lawyer hired by his father take on the railroad company that wanted to put a railway line through his family's farm. Ed's passions are driven by his conviction to do what is right, and sometimes doing the right thing went against conventional wisdom. His two biggest successes, the Copper Creek Edgewater development and Prairie Meadows, were not popular, and most folks were against both of these projects at the start. Now, each is a gem within its respective community. Ed is a generous man, too. Few people know this, but Ed donated the land that comprises the Sam Wise Sports Complex in Altoona. Ed's wife, Lois, is proud of her husband and the role he has taken in showing their family how to give back and improving the lives of everyone who calls Eastern Iowa home. But knowing more about Ed and what he's done for this community is better understood by hearing from people who have known Ed and respected him the most. Here's what a few of them have to say.
Hello, I'm Senator Tom Harkin, and I join with all of you in saluting the extraordinary public service of my longtime friend, Ed Skinner. As you come together to honor him with the Keep Iowa Beautiful Hometown Pride Vision Award, I'm reminded of the great words of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. when he said, "Life's most urgent and persistent question is, what are you doing for others?" Over the decades, Ed Skinner has answered that question in powerful ways, serving as city attorney, state representative, advocating for public education, giving his time to civic organizations and boards, and spearheading countless economic development projects in eastern Polk County. And when you think of all the progress in economic development in Altoona and eastern Polk County, well, Ed has invariably been the catalyst and driving force behind it. So congratulations to my friend. Ed, I join with your many friends and admirers in thanking you for your wonderful service. Keep up your great work.
I've known Ed since high school. I went to Woodside High School when it was a high school, and he went to Runnels when it was a high school, and we played basketball against each other, so it goes back a long way. He always had a love for the neighborhood he grew up in and the east side of part of Des Moines, and always was interested in developing that. And you know, the reason we asked him to come on to the Keep Iowa Beautiful board is so we could take that vision that he had and use it for the whole state rather than for the county.
My connection with Ed is almost 30 years ago. I met him when I went to work for the city of Altoona, and I went across the street into his office and was able to meet him and this larger-than-life guy who was taking phone calls from the governor and congressman, and maybe they weren't real, I don't know, but I was very impressed at the time.
Ed's a visionary, but it's not just Altoona. I mean, it's throughout eastern Polk County and throughout the state as well. Ed really enjoys seeing things happen and doing projects that improve the community.
Ed Skinner's someone who has commitment, and it's always amazing to me how he can get people to follow him to do whatever he thinks is his commitment. And he's had that kind of passion with regard to the environment. He's had that kind of passion with regard to the state of Israel. And he finds that when he truly follows his commitment, people do follow him, and he reaches out to them, and he's the type of person who will spend time on the phone and recruit people for events that follow his commitment. He can raise money. He's done all of that in the past, and he's someone who's truly dedicated to his feelings and his beliefs.
He understands you have to invest in public infrastructure and in the school systems and roads and communities, or you don't have a good place to live and work. I mean, that is so important for the fabric to keep that going.
Ed is a wonderful, wonderful man that has a true passion for the success of Polk County, eastern Polk County, Pleasant Hill, Runnels, and what I would consider our side of town.
Ed has been an integral part in the growth that's taken place in Eastern Polk County and Altoona in particular. Ed, a long time ago when I first began my career here with the city of Altoona, he and I had a conversation about starting an industrial park here in the community, and working with Ed, we were able to accomplish that. Today we have several businesses out in that area, a new business coming yet this summer. So the industrial park has been a tremendous hit for the city of Altoona.
And I'll give you a specific example. Way back in the day when he took me for one of his infamous rides to a gravel pit that was very controversial in Pleasant Hill. And he had the vision to understand that once that gravel pit has been mined sufficiently, what's going to be left is a beautiful lake.
I know that all the development that's occurred in Altoona, Pleasant Hill, has had Ed's hand behind it. And he's the type of person who doesn't get in the press very often, but he's that unseen force that's always making things happen in those communities.
Ed's dream to create a racetrack, horse racing, was something that he was very, very passionate about. When you look back at what that drive and that vision at that time now has created to make Prairie Meadows a reality, has affected each and every person in this state.
He understood that the necessity for a regional airport in the northeast part of Polk County. He helped us develop the Ankeny Regional Airport. He also was keen on developing commercial properties in the Altoona area, and he talked Casey's into building the store on the south and west corner of Altoona at that time in the middle of nowhere. I think he really had a great vision because we built that store there, and today if you look at it, it's a mega retail area, meaning there's more than 1 million square foot of retail space in less than a mile.
Ed is like a conductor. I was pulled into many meetings where he would orchestrate a gathering of individuals throughout the community to work on a project, whether it would be the bypass, whether it would be Prairie Meadows, whether it would be, countless times. And he would lead and organize those meetings and then assign people duties as to how we were going to accomplish this goal. He was a true visionary and had total passion to help ensure that these projects would get completed.
This award fits Ed very well. I've known Ed, I've been here for 17 years. From the very moment I walked through the door, and we started working on a couple of projects, I think from the moment the Beltway opened up. Ed said, you can accomplish great things if you just don't care who takes the credit for it.
Ed is certainly deserving of this award on many fronts, but one in particular that I think of is his leadership and involvement in Prairie Meadows and how the success of Prairie Meadows has been able to affect every county and I'm sure every citizen in this state of Iowa.
Well, Ed Skinner, in some ways, is a very humble individual. He doesn't do things for personal recognition. So when he does receive an award, I've always found that he does it in a kind of a humble fashion. This reward will mean a lot to him to be recognized, but it's not something he ever sought when he tried to follow his passions. His passions are unrelated to any type of recognition or awards.
We developed a great friendship over the years, and he was one of the original board members on the Keep Iowa Beautiful. Then he retired from the Keep Iowa Beautiful board, and then he come back on a few years later because he realized where we were going and we needed his expertise.
Hi, I'm Congressman Dave Loebsack, and I'm sorry I couldn't be with you in person to help honor a truly remarkable Iowan. I'm very proud to join Keep Iowa Beautiful in saluting my friend Ed Skinner and all of his hard work and dedication. Ed, you've been a great asset not only for Polk County, but for all of Iowa. The work you have done has truly made a difference in communities across the state. Congratulations, Ed. This award is well deserved.
He also has a great wife in Lois, and that if you didn't have Lois, if you don't have a strong family base to depend on, it's hard for him to go out and do all those other things unless he knows somebody's taking care of the home fire. So I want to make sure she's recognized because it helped him even do better things for the region and the state.
Yeah, anybody who spent time with Ed and Lois and their family know that their children have a genuine affection for their parents. And you can just tell that in their eyes. I don't think Ed ever had to say, don't move away from the area. I don't think they wanted to move away from the area because they just appreciate their association so much as a family.
And I'll never forget, Ed, that one of the times we were kind of honoring you and you admitted, poor Lois. And I got such a kick out of that. Lois, you are a wonderful person, and you together with Ed have produced wonderful children that I know are already carrying on your tradition. So let me thank you on behalf of myself, my wife Dodie, and so many people for what you've done for us. Yes, you have made Iowa beautiful, and you've done it by doing what you can. You got lots of imagination, you got lots of drive, and you make it happen. And I want to thank you for doing it, and I just wish that this community and our state and our country had more Ed Skinners. And I guess in a sense we will have, because your children coming along, and they're super people as well. So Ed, thank you. Thank you for your efforts. Thank you for what you've given to us. And Lois, thank you for being right there and being part of it. We appreciate it. God bless you, and you certainly deserve this recognition tonight. You sure have done your part to keep Iowa beautiful.